What's the good word, strangers?
Food!
Dear Scorch mains, Scorch is the worst Titan of the game. Hello pilots! After the recent Titanfall revival, there is a lot of new players, and by playing, but also due to my videos, I've noticed there's certain Titans that have been increasing in popularity. Monarch, Running, and sadly Scorch rule the multiplayer right now. Monarch and Running will get their own video, but today we're going to focus on Scorch. Scorch has and is one of the most popular Titans of the game. A lot of people love and respect the Titan, but today I'm here to tell you that Scorch is a terrible Titan. Whoa, put your weapons down. Let me explain. When I say Scorch is bad, that does not mean he's not fun. I'm not saying that. If anything, Scorch has one of the most engaging gameplays out of the Titans. With that being said, let's begin.
Call an ambulance! But not for me!
As you know, Scorch is an Ogre class Titan, which means slow, tanky, and powerful. In terms of stats and viability, Scorch happens to be the lowest ranked Titan of them all. Scorch is slow and highly dependent on circumstances. The issue with Scorch is, in comparison with Legion, his effective range is severely limited. After a couple of meters, Scorch can only try to hit people with his primary, and this is where Scorch begins to struggle. I'm sorry, but the thermite launcher is such a bad weapon. It is a projectile based weapon that does variable damage. You need to somehow stick the projectile to the enemy to deal max damage. It's slow on reload and easily avoidable. The damage is okay, but once again it varies a lot. I will say though, at the very least, it gives a Scorch a better range than Running. So it's something, but that's fine because we all know Scorch's main source of damage is in his primary. But the flame shield and canisters and even the flame wall. And unfortunately this is another instance where Scorch also struggles. In order for these abilities to work properly, you have to get very close to the enemy. And let's face it, Scorch is not a speedy demon. The lack of speed and massive size makes Scorch an easy target to see approaching. Not only that, but even if Scorch is playing within the optimal range, the enemy can still run away if the attack isn't executed properly. This is one of the main reasons why Scorch's gameplay is engaging, but also frustrating. You really need to learn how to engage battles. Sometimes you have to ambush and overwhelm your enemies, but most importantly, you have to learn to be decisive, commit or die. Scorch cannot run away from a battle. So sometimes it's better to commit and do whatever it takes to win, because a running Scorch is an even easier target. Now, I will admit, in terms of raw power, Scorch is really up there.
Ooh, that's very nice.
The flame shield is a great close range ability, and the canisters are really dangerous. So if you were to successfully set a trap for the enemy, it's safe to say it's a win for Scorch. But that's exactly the problem. Since you have to chase the enemy down, getting within optimal range sometimes requires a lot of sacrifice. It's either your HP or your shield energy. And we all know Scorch relies a lot on the flame shield. And that is if your enemy allows you to get within range. Because Scorch has a lot of counters. Of course, the biggest counter Scorch has is range. I don't even need to mention Northstar because she is clearly the toughest matchup for Scorch. It's ridiculous to see how limited Scorch is with enemies that are just a couple meters away. If you're not able to successfully close off escaping route, the enemy will simply outpace you and even make a comeback by constantly attacking you. And this is where map awareness comes into play. And yes, Scorch can counter Legion, but I think this is very situational just like the rest of the Titans. I personally think Scorch is the most map dependent Titan there is, even more than running. Open spaces are very crippling for Scorch, not only because he's a massive target, but because the enemy has free range of movement, and setting traps becomes much more difficult. This is why maps like Glitch, Complex and Boomtown are good maps for Scorch, narrow areas and hallways, and perfect corners for Scorch to hide and ambush enemies. But even in these maps, Scorch could struggle, especially against great Northstar players or simply good players that know how to keep their distance. Every time I see a Scorch, all I can see is a sweet battery. And of course, core meter for my Monarch. Scorch really doesn't represent a threat for me, especially after my second core. But Scorch does have an ability I definitely try to avoid, and that is Flame Core. Let's talk about Flame Core, because it's gotta be one of the best and worst cores of the game. Flame Core is such a meme, it is as easy to avoid as just dashing to the side, but it can totally kill an entire enemy team with low HP. Oh yes! Oh, beautiful! Get wrecked! The range is decent with great damage. It's gotta be one of the better aspects of the Titan. Clear weaknesses but great advantages. Scorch is an incredibly fun Titan, there's no denying it. His gameplay is only enhanced by how challenging it is to be a Scorch main. Takes a lot of skill to be good and oppressive with Scorch, but it's clear Scorch suffers in terms of viability. He's too reliant on maps and close corners, and the lack of effective range, or speed, puts Scorch in an awkward position. Compared to the more reaching or mobile Titans, Scorch has to try harder than any other Titan to get the same results. And yes, I feel obligated to mention this, Scorch does amazing, he does great in frontier defense, okay? No one is taking that away from the Titan. But aside from that, all I can say is Scorch has great potential, but as it is, he's the weakest Titan of the game. And so we are clear, I love Scorch, okay? He's going to be my 3rd Gen 100, so I know how to play him. This is why I can tell he's not as good as the rest. Not that that matters, to be honest, because people love Scorch and they won't stop playing him until the end of the world. And of course they will keep celebrating the Scorch religion. Now I need to go back to my bunker and hide from the Scorch mains, okay? They won't be really happy about this, and there's more and more every day. So thank you for watching, okay? I'm streaming on Wednesdays and Fridays, by the way, so if you wanna come and check it out, you're more than welcome to. Become a member today to support the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Man, Scorch mains are not gonna let me leave. Yeah, I'm pretty much dead. Oh well.